What's good, everybody? What is good? It's Big Game James here. Let me know if you hear me. Yeah, let me turn. Hey, man, can you turn this music down? What's good, everybody? What's good? What's good? What's good? T Smooth TVs, Spiffy AC, Mad. Was it Madman? What's up, dog? Logan Davis. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Jawan James, what's good with you? Mel Hayes, what's up with you? B Bird, what's up, man? It's been a couple weeks. You know how I do. I don't try to go live every day no more, man. But let's talk about some Cowboy stuff. Let's talk about some Cowboy stuff, man. Next time I go live, I'll have the y'all can call in. I ain't doing it today. I don't feel like doing it. Sorry. But we'll do it next time. I will. Joe Tranchino, my man from Italy. JJ the Mind, what's good with you, baby? Hey ho! Let's talk some Cowboys football, man. I know y'all been watching. I got some stuff. I know y'all already know about the Cowboys news if y'all real Cowboys fans, right? I'm sure y'all been hearing everything. So it ain't nothing new what I'm gonna tell you. But you're just gonna hear from my perspective. You feel me? Just from my perspective. So let's jump out there already, man. How y'all feeling? How's everybody doing? First, happy Memorial Weekend. Make sure everybody's safe. The pools will be open, I believe, and we'll be going swimming. I'm definitely trying to kick it real hard this summer, man. Trying to go different places. Definitely getting ready for our Cali trip. Definitely getting ready for our Cali trip for our training camp. Definitely going to be excited to see. I always love going to training camp. And this should be good because this should be more away from COVID now. So this should be more of a normal camp. That will be good. Even though it was cool last year, that COVID thing was just annoying. So hopefully we got past that. And definitely, dog, Mel, you know what it is, dog. When we get out there in Cali, you know what it is. We kicking it, big dog. So make sure I'm gonna send you the time when we out there. So make sure you know. So we out there kicking it with you. You know what it is. See Burleson, Life Crazy. What's up with you? You know what I'm saying? You got a good question for me, JJ the Mom? Shoot it. Shoot it. Shoot it. Shoot it. I got a lot of stuff that's on my head with, with the Cowboys, talking about Dalton Schultz out there. They just talked about his contract. He possibly, 4 year, it said from the Bleacher Report, Paul Casabian, if that's his last name, projects Dalton Schultz will ultimately sign a 4 year, $64 million contract. Best guess, Schultz, 4 year, $64 million, 30 million guaranteed, make what, about 16, 17 per, something like that? They should. Yeah, they definitely should. And I'm definitely going to be on that. Definitely should. Since we didn't have the player access because of the COVID, so that should definitely happen. So I'm definitely going to be getting those interviews this year. Let me throw you a question. Throw some questions up there then because there's so much stuff to talk about. OTAs, how y'all feel. How y'all can bounce off of y'all. Said, do you think Dak will have a Matthew Stafford career path? Won't win anything here, but go somewhere else and win a Super Bowl. That's very interesting. That could very well happen. Um, that could very well happen. I can say that's a 60-40 to me because I've already said the writing's on the wall with Dak Prescott already having to restructure his deal. Stephen Jones already talking that we can't, he always talking that money. So if Dak ain't winning, in the next few years, that's a contract I'm gonna look at, and I could definitely see Dak going somewhere else with a more solid front office, a more solid coaching staff. I still like Mike McCarthy, but a more solid all around coaching staff. I like Dan Quinn. There's some things I don't like, but Mike McCarthy still got to be more assertive. But you feel me? I could see that. I could definitely see it. Yeah, I hear that. Yeah, I heard that, Logan, where they were saying Dak was all and Collins were all close, but then they're saying they're not. I don't know, man. So many of them stories come out of here after people are gone. That always happens. You feel me? Like everything is always good when they're here, but when people leave, people always are chattering about stuff that wasn't said. I don't really get in that he say she say because they ain't here and Dak is. Can only really worry about who's here right now. And right now, CD Lamb's got to be that guy. You feel me? We've been hearing about how he grew a half inch and put on 10 pounds of muscle. He says he's ready to be the number one. Jerry Jones said he's a better option than Amari Cooper at the number one. Then you heard rumblings in the building that he don't have enough alpha energy. So it's we're going to see. It's a lot of things that are in the air, and we're going to see a lot of questions that need to be answered. I feel like it's really more on the offensive side. Um, that's where I see a lot of the question marks. There was a lot of people sitting out on OTAs. Tyron Smith, we already know. Connor McGovern was taking first team reps over Tyler Smith, but they said they're going to work him in slowly, so that's no alarm. I feel like Connor McGovern is going to be the backup guard to your team all season. Your left and right guard. Tyler Smith, they're going to push him to be your starter. Connor McGovern is going to be your backup left and right guard. The way they're talking is Matt Waletsko is going to be the backup swing tackle. We'll see about that. That's going to be interesting because he's a rookie and he came from a small school. It's a lot of pressure right there. Let me get this up there from B-Bird. Shout out to you for the $5 holla. Hey, ho. The BGJ, I appreciate you challenging Dak's performance last year. Others have been reluctant to do so. After last year, everybody should be questioned. I mean, I'm going to keep it real, how I feel about Dak. I haven't changed my love for Dak Prescott. I love him as a quarterback. I still feel like the Cowboys can win a championship with him, but that front office, man, I don't know if they will because of the front office, because you know why. And I don't have to keep going over that over and over. But I feel like he has a championship material. But once again, I do feel like, in my opinion, that his ceiling has hit. As far as, is he going to get inordinately better? I don't believe he is. He is what he is right now. But that doesn't mean you can't win with that. You just got to get the proper coaching and talent around him. And, I feel like he's still got to get better. He still got to make those throws. He still got to make those tight window throws. He still can't be hesitant on passes. He's got to be more assertive. I feel like, in that huddle. Maybe I don't see some of that sometimes because I'm not in that locker room. He could be getting on players that I don't see, but I would like to see some more of that from afar. I want to see more of that assertiveness. I want to see more of the take controlness, and I want to see a little more gunslingerness and more. Hey, I don't care. I'm taking this chance, and it don't matter. I don't want to see more of that this season because of the fallback last year. I want him to take even more of another step. And plus, the whispers are out there. No, I'm not saying it, but the whispers are out there. Oh, Amari Cooper. I did say Amari Cooper did make him better. I did say that because I do believe it. I do believe Amari Cooper did make him better. I don't believe he made Dak Prescott, but he definitely got him better as a quarterback because it was lacking when they didn't have Amari Cooper. You get what I'm saying? But Michael Gallup, I believe, was a rookie. It was all young, and it was receiver by committee. So you have a CD Lamb, you got a Tolbert. You don't maybe have that core that you had before. So yeah, definitely want to see the challenge of it because the offense isn't what it was last year on paper. So I definitely want to see more, and I want to see what he's going to do this year. So yeah, I'm definitely looking at that. I mean, from Tyron Smith, this is what I've said before about what's up, dog? What's up, my dog, the ninja? What's up with you, baby? Shout out to you, man. You know, about with the Tyron Smith thing, I said years ago, I think it was when they were talking about the Jamal Smith, 2019. I said, get something for Tyron Smith, trade him now. People was going off on me, oh, he's still one of the best in the game. I ain't saying he ain't. He's still one of the top left tackles in the game, but he's already got the back tightness. How many times have we heard this time and time again? So I mean, when is enough with Tyron Smith? You know what I mean? How long are we gonna hold on to this? You got a bad back. It's a messed up back. It's always gonna be an injury. It's always gonna be 3 to 4 games missed. I guess that's why you draft him at. Well, let's go, but see what you got in this Josh Ball. You need what you need to see what you need to have in these guys. If you drafted this, well, let's go kid, and you drafted this Josh Ball kid, then you need to see what these dudes are. And if Tyron Smith is going to be out, we already know he got back tightness, right? So play these dudes as much as you can right now, then, and find out who's going to be your guy possibly in the future, because you need to figure out this left tackle, because Tyron Smith ain't got much left, and we don't know. He ain't playing until he's 35, 36, 37 years old. He's not doing that. I mean, I just feel like Collins fell out of favor. Life's crazy. He just fell out of favor, and that was the move. It wasn't even about them moving the left guard. He was just they fell out of favor. What's up? They just fell out of favor, man, with him, and I just feel like, come on. So I mean, we'll kind of, like I said, we'll see what goes on with that. I feel like it's a whole new challenge for the offense. We've been talking about, I don't want to really hear the early stuff about what they're doing with Tony Pollard. That's cool, but I want to see it more on the field and not really talk about it. But I feel like it's a challenge across the board. It's a flip flop, like I said, from last year or the years prior. The defense is ahead of the offense now, whereas last year it was the offense that was ahead of the defense because you had a new defensive coordinator. You saw the debacle with Mike Nolan. Everybody was wondering what that defense was going to do. You had new players, Micah Parsons, Okadazua. You had new guys coming in the fold, so you didn't know. You had a lot of new parts, but you saw how quickly that came together, and you saw what Dan Quinn has really put his stamp on the team. So if he's really put his stamp on the team, especially the defense, now the roles reversed. You only lost Randy Gregory really from the fold. You added some players, not players that are going to put you over the hump, but you got pieces. So for the most part, your defense is good, and you did add more in the draft. So you're going to feel like the defense is way ahead of the offense right now, especially when you lost Aleo Collins, you lost Connor Williams, you lost Amari Cooper, you lost Blake Jarwin, you lost players. You know what I'm saying? So you lost more on that offense than you lost on your defense. So that's the challenge. And you can say you lost Michael Gallup because he's going to be out some games. I'm saying 5 to 7 games minimum, Michael Gallup, because they're still talking about rehabbing Jabril Cox, and he tore his knee up mid-season. You got Michael Gallup who tore his knee up at the end of the season. So you still got guys that are out. So the offense is under a tremendous challenge. So that's where I need to see Kellen Moore the step up, Mike McCarthy, more hands-on, Joe Philbin. You got offensive linemen that need to get it together. You got 6 offensive linemen that have been picked up in the last 3 years. We need to see it now. Mike McCarthy needs to be more assertive. This could be your last season. You don't make it to at least the NFC Championship, I don't know how you're still with the team. Kellen Moore, we don't know. Is the honeymoon over? The pressure's on because you lost players, and the pressure was on from being exposed from last year. So this offense is flip-flop. There's many questions on this offense now, and there's a lot of questions that got to be answered. And I feel like the defense is what's going to carry the team early, and we need to see what this offense is going to do. So it's a lot of moving parts going on right now. What's up, Jay Lombardi? What up, Big Flocka? Big Flock 91. And see, here's the thing. And I still even have the Cowboys 12-5 because when you look at the schedule, they said they got one of the easiest schedules in the NFL, and when you look at it, I feel like it is, especially toward the end of the season. You can beat a few key games after they play Green Bay. I feel like they can win that game at Green Bay. That's my upset special of the year, going to Green Bay and beating them. They can go on a roll and win like 7 or 8 in a row after that. So, even with the offense taking a step back, I still feel like with that schedule, you can still win the games. You can still be a repeat NFC East champion, But to me, that's not what it's about right now. It's the playoffs. It's what you're going to do in these playoffs because Dallas still has the talent to win the East. Even though Philly made a come up and even though they've stepped their game up in free agency and they're going to bang, it's going to be a tougher out. I still feel like the Cowboys have what it takes to win the NFC East. Yeah, I hear you. With Jerry, like I said, I talked about those comments, Jay Lombardi. He said he was a better option. Um, what up? What up, Chris? What's up, Chris? That he said he was a better option. I'm gonna throw your comment up there, Jay. Jerry's latest comments on Cooper Lamb. There should be no excuses that Schultz has the same amount of targets as CD this season. We're gonna see, man. If Schultz gets that contract, I mean, this is a big year for CD Lamb, and I said this. I keep on saying this. This is a huge year for CD Lamb, and I think that's across the board in the building for CD. Um, to prove he's that number one guy, I believe he's a number one, and he still needs to show it though. You know what I'm saying? Because everything wasn't geared to him, and he's the guy. And third year, you see what Law said. Third year, Dez went crazy, 92 receptions. CD already had a high amount of targets with Dak Prescott his first 2 years because I keep on saying that Dak's first 5 games of the season before he got hurt, CD Lamb was one of his top targets. He had like 22 receptions that first part of the season with Dak before he broke his leg, and he was out in 2020. So it's there for him, but he's just got to show it. And he's got to show it for this contract because this year 3, if he just looks okay, I'm telling you, Stephen Jones gonna be like, we out of here. What up, Eric Mack? He's gonna be we out of here. You know what I mean? We out of here. We moving on from CD. Bobby Belt already said it. I just feel like this is a huge year from CD for getting his next deal in Dallas. Because if it's a regular type season or if it's not one of those explosive type seasons, I could definitely see them trying to draft another receiver and saying, hey, we're going to keep you until, we can't keep you no more. We'll see what's up with Dalton Schultz. Got another $5 holler for my guy, B Bird. Shout out to you. Always appreciate your contributions to the channel. Hey ho! Says, I feel like it was beef between Dak and Coop. Dak never went to bat for him during the trade rumor, and Dak was quick to embrace a rookie in Tolbert. I don't know, B Bird. I said I wasn't there, And Cooper said, even in his interview to Cleveland, he looked sad. Coop always looks sad, but he said he didn't want to leave Dallas. And Dak and Coop, I thought they had a good relationship. I thought it was good enough. Dak is going to do that with all his receivers. I mean, he did that with Simi. He did that with. He's going to do that. He just did it with CD moving his locker. Dak is a leader like that. So I felt like he definitely was going to embrace Jalen Tolbert because Jalen Tolbert's a good receiver, and I feel like that's the smart thing to do is to embrace your receiver like that. I don't know if there was friction between him and Coop like that. There might have been definitely disagreements. I don't know if they were the best of buddies. They don't look like they were the best of friends. They have two different type of personalities to me. But I don't feel like there was beef between them, and I don't feel like that was the reason how they moved on. I feel like the reason why Coop moved on was money, and I feel like he fell out of favor with the front office, particularly Stephen Jones. And I feel like that's the reason why he's not here. Because when you fall out of favor with Stephen Jones, who deals with the money, you're pretty much gone. And they're going to move on and go for a cheaper option. And I feel like that's what they're doing right now. Yeah, Dak didn't give Coop a lot of targets. That is true. CD and Dalton Schultz were getting the majority of the targets. But I feel like, once again, I don't know if that's a Dak Prescott thing or if that's a front office thing. They try to jump out there and say, we got Coach Marv became a new member. Shout out to you, Coach Marv, for being a new member. We appreciate you. I didn't get to see it over there, but Coach Marv, I got a lot of love for you. I appreciate all your questions. Shout out to you for becoming a member of the Big Game James family. Thank you. But yeah, Jay Lombardi, when we hear about Cooper, you heard Kellen Moore in the interviews last year, like whoever has a good thing of practice, that we don't really target one person. And you heard Stephen Jones saying, the ball dictates to who's open. So I don't know if that was. I just feel like they were moving on from Cooper. They weren't going to target him like that in this offense. We got to see this year. We'll see. You know what I mean? I just feel like Coop fell out of favor with the front office, and that was that. Once you fall out of favor with Stephen Jones, it's over. You know what I mean? I mean, they were starting to phase him out, and he was even saying it. But if you go back to my, if you go back to my video I did with George Teague, and this was right after we saw the targets diminishing from Cooper. We saw Cooper getting frustrated with the media. We saw the issues with the COVID because I know that frustrated the team as a whole. And those are already rumblings in the building. I told you even with 2019 with that Philly game. But when I had George Teague on the show, we talked about it, and I mentioned this. And George Teague said it: when it's your contract year and you're trying to get paid or extended, you want to have those good numbers. And teams can take the ball away from you. Teams can go away from you, so they can devalue you, where they don't got to pay you because your numbers aren't the same. And this, I feel like, was a perfect situation. I feel like that's why Cooper was speaking up in the media, and that's why he was talking about, I'm still a dog. I'm still a player. I'm still one of the best in the game, but I'm not getting the ball. If we want to win games at the end of the year, you got to give me the ball. We'll win games. So Cooper came out there and said it, and we know it to be true. We saw what he did in 2018, 2019. We saw what Cooper could do, and we saw how he could put a team on his back, and that was no lie. So it was just a situation where Stephen Jones just had moved on mentally and financially from him, and that's where it was. And so now I feel like unless CeeDee Lamb goes off and has a tremendous year, it could be the same thing with him. They're always going to go with the cheaper option. They're never going to try to pay these guys, no matter even they're trying to keep their own. Their owner always going to have to fight for the money with Stephen Jones, and that's what it is. And they're going to have to really play so crazy to where it forces Stephen Jones, I gotta pay you because your numbers are just so good. There ain't no choice. And that's what I feel like it is there. Shout out to my guy. And I'm gonna get up to you, Marv, Coach Marv. The Jones is purposely phased out Coop to make releasing more acceptable. If he had 2020 numbers, the fan and media would be living it. Yeah, but they probably would have got more volume in that trade market if they would have did that. But yeah, I mean, I told that's what I felt like. That's what they're gonna do anyway. I mean, that's what they do in Dallas. It's no secret. They don't want to pay you no money. Coach Marv, what's up? What you said? What's up, big game? Lamb is a one. Listen, big game. This is the second team to give up on Cooper. I'm just saying, there's something with Coop. Cleveland will tell you this story. I feel you with that. Now, I feel you with that, Coach Marv, and I definitely believe, like I said, Lamb is one. But you gotta agree with me, Coach, in saying Lamb still has to take his game to another level. He has to go to another elite level. His career has been good. He has had really good numbers, but he has to take his game to another elite level. You must agree with me at that because I'm not going away from that. Even if he is a number one, he still has to take his game to another elite level where if we're talking the Dez Bryant hitting the 90 receptions, the 1,400 yards, double-digit touchdowns, because Dak Prescott hasn't had a double-digit receiver in his career yet. So this needs to be the year that Lamb shows it to the whole world that I am totally that guy. You know what I'm saying? And I feel what you're saying about Coop. I never said he didn't soak. I always loved Coop's talent, but Coop does soak. He soaked in the Raiders when he didn't get the ball. He did soak. I can't not say he didn't do that in Dallas because he did, and maybe that's the personality. But once again, you know, Stephen Jones don't want to pay you no money, dog. Why won't they trade Tyron Smith? Because they love Tyron Smith. That's plain and simple. They love Tyron Smith. They ain't never getting rid of Tyron Smith unless like he's a back breaking is just like totally over with him. You know what I mean? And I feel like it's too late now. You're not going to get a crazy amount of anything. If you try to trade a Tyron Smith now, you're not going to get what you could have got 2, 3 years ago, like I said. So now it's just you just ride him till the wheels fall off now because you're not going to get what you get. You got a fifth for Amari Cooper. You know, what you going to get for Tyron Smith now with broke up back? Yeah, I ain't gonna get that much for him. Might as well. Shout out to Life's Crazy for the 199 holler. They need to put Connor at center, more reps. Tyler needs a at I don't know if you're saying at guard. They're not gonna do that though, big dog. That's the thing. Um, Joe Philbin doesn't like. I talked to Connor's dad. I talked to Connor McGovern's dad, and he just says for some reason Joe Philbin ain't feeling him, and he wasn't with that staff. So Connor McGovern is not going to be with the Cowboys. This is probably his last year. They're probably not going to extend him. What's up, Ready Red? They're probably not going to extend him, and he's going to be the backup. And he's not going to be a backup center because they like that Lindstrom kid. They want to see what they have in that Matt Farinaut kid from Nebraska. And Tyler Biadasz, this is his year to prove that he can be the center of the future or they're going to move on. But Connor McGovern's not going to get that chance. He's the backup left or right guard. He's only starting now because Tyler Smith is just getting acquainted, but I feel like that's his position, period. Hey, like I said, I'm not trying to ever doubt CD Lamb, but to me, he still got to prove some things to me. I feel like he is a number one. Not doubting that CD Lamb is not a number one. He's a number one receiver in this league, but he's still got to show more explosive. He's still got to show better route running at the top of his route. He's still got to be, when it gets tough, when you get double teams, when you may not be seeing the ball, still pressing through and fighting through, mentally being strong when it's going to be double teams, when the coverages are rolled against you and they're forced against you. There's got to be a lot more that I need to see that wasn't he didn't have to show those first couple of years. So there's nothing wrong with that from my perspective. Let's hope Alicorn gets some reps. I doubt it though. We'll see. They keep him on there for a reason. Let's hope so. But like I said, we need to see what Josh Ball has, Matt Farinaut has. Biadasz has to step up and become that center. Terrence Steele wasn't a starter. He was a starter toward the end of the year. But it's a whole different thing when you're a starter off the rip and you're the guy now. So we need to see Terrence Steele as the new starter because it was different when you still had the La'el Collins in the fold. Now you the guy. We still just need to see him take a next level. And then you got the new guys and Matt Willetsko and then Tyler Smith. So it's a lot of question marks along this offensive line, this offense in general. But this offensive line needs to see major improvements. So, that's why I've been pushing, Joe Philbin, John Jones. Shout out to you for the $2 holla. Hey ho, and I always appreciate you, John Jones. Thank you. But yeah, man, the whole line, like that's why I've been saying, y'all. To me, the offensive line is the key more than anything else. The game is one of the trenches, right? When we talked about why that defense was so good, that back end was good, but why was it so good in my opinion? It was because that front line did a lot better. You had the young boys and Osa Ogadazua, Micah Parsons, Randy Gregory at that time. It was pressure. Jaron Curse, they were sending pressure, not all the time because we weren't a big blitz team, but we were one of the top pressure teams in the league. So when you have a lot of pressures, what does that bring? That brings sacks, that brings turnovers. So that's what I love. Dallas had a whole lot of pressure last year, and they were tops in the league. I believe they were like top 5 in the league in pressures and QB knockdowns. So if they were one of the tops in pressures and QB knockdowns, as I said before, that brought more sacks. Micah Parsons had 13, and it brought more turnovers, interceptions. You saw turnovers, interceptions. So that front line is huge. So at the same token of how that changed the defense, it's got to be like that with the offense because we saw the flip as how the offensive line deteriorated as the season went on, And you saw how big of a problem was. So now it's huge question marks, man. It's a lot of question marks coming in on this offensive line. And that's something that I am just keeping my eye on, man, more than anything else. The receiver position, yes, tight end. See how Jake Ferguson gets acclimated. Sean McKeon from Michigan, his second year. We need to see how those guys, we need to see if we're really going to use Tony Pollard. You know, if you're going to move this dude around, put him in space. The number 2 receiver, it's up in the air. The slot guys in up in there. A lot of questions on that. But if your line can't do anything, the season's a wash. So that line and Joe Philbin in particular, I'm going to keep on talking about it because you got a lot. You got small school guys. You got Tulsa. It's not a big school. He didn't play great competition. Matt Walesko, that's a small school he came from. You didn't play great competition. So you're putting a lot of faith in guys that played in kind of smaller competition in smaller schools to come here and jump in the NFL and make that leap and say these are going to be your guys. You're saying Waletzko is going to be your guy at the swing. Like I said, I'm not doubting the talent, but that's a small school, Tulsa, not a big school. Josh Ball didn't play all last year. Fair enough. Got in one game at the end of the year and it gets backups. We'll see, man. Shout out to you, B Bird, again for the $2 hollow. Really much love to you. And also, you're giving out these super chats right now. You know you can give out the new super thanks. I have the new super thanks on the on my super chats now. You can check it out on my page. It's the super thanks. If you want to give a donation. Hey ho, it's the new super thanks on there. You can go on the feed and you can see it right there. I believe it's the new super thanks if Boo Thing can show it to you. I don't know if she can show it, but it's a new super thanks that I do have on my feed now. And I kind of like it. It's really dope. But what was I going to say in Paul? I was going to just jump on when you were saying, Paul, about Dante Fowler. Now, I said there's a few players, and I didn't mention Dante Fowler, and I probably should have. And I really don't want y'all to think I'm just jumping on the train or anything like that. But Dante Fowler, I said there were players that I always kind of wanted to come to Dallas because I just maybe liked how they played or how they, Dante Fowler always liked how he played kind of at Florida. But when he came over to the Jags, I was like, I liked all that all black with the black vibes. I'm like, Dante Fowler, he just looked nasty. He just looked like he gonna be sweet. I kept on saying that about Fowler, but he just never kind of took that next step over there. He went to had the turn up year with the Rams, and that was dope. And people say, well, and even I said it because I didn't know that Dan Quinn, I forgot Dan Quinn had got fired, week 5. And so he really didn't even get to coach Fowler. Fowler's 27. Now, Fowler, I think, could have a Robert Quinn type year. No, not as far as the 11 sacks. I don't think he gets 11 sacks this year. Law Nation gave a over-under of was it 6 or 7 sacks this year? I said under. I think he said over 7 sacks this year. I said under barely. I said like 6 sacks because I feel like Dorrance Armstrong Jr. he gonna get some sacks. Sam Williams gonna get some sacks. Golston probably gets a few. I think D-Law, he ain't gonna go crazy on those sacks, but he gonna get some sacks. I think Osa gets some more sacks. So you know what I mean? It's gonna be kind of spread out. So that's why I don't think he goes crazy. But I definitely feel like he helps that defensive end. The guy that might be on the outs is Terrell Basham, because we were talking about him. Terrell Basham might be the guy that's on the outs. I hope Jabril Cox will be ready. I don't know, dog. You mad? Is it M for? I don't know the name. I might mess it up, but I don't know about the Harper story. Brooks thing, man. That's a 6th rounder and an undrafted linebacker that you're saying that's going to contribute. I still think you need to get a veteran like an Anthony Barr because God forbid you have an injury to one of your dogs. And Jabril Cox, they're still saying they're bringing him along slowly. You need another veteran in there, and I'm not trying to rely on a rookie linebacker. That's just me. Like the talent, I've seen the tape on both the players. Them guys is rookies who never played in the NFL. You need veteran help. I don't want to rely on that. Okay, Madman. My bad. I couldn't see it was looking weird on here, so my bad, Madman. Because I was looking at the name like, am I saying this right? What's up, sis? How you doing? 9 sacks. We'll see. I don't have him getting that much. That would be awesome if he did, but I don't have him having that. I don't have Fowler getting that many sacks. I'd say get about 6, maybe 7. What's up, Daniel? Appreciate you. My bad once again. Yeah, I like the Marquise Bell. That me and DMV. Shout out to DMV out there. He was out there at the fight yesterday with that Javante Davis and Rolly fight. Hey, got to give myself a pat on the back. I said it would be. I said Davis was going to knock him out in 7. He knocked him out in 6. But Rolly was banging with him. But shout out to my dog DMV. We was talking about Marquise Bell, and I feel like they're trying to do Marquise Bell like they trying to do J-Ron Curse. If you look at Bell's a big corner. I mean, a big safety like Curse. They're pretty much almost like the same measurements. He ran a 4.4. He's still a little, I don't know if he's super flexy, not super stiffy, but I don't know if he's super flexy. But I could see them doing the same thing where they're already talking about do it as a linebacker. I feel like they're doing them in the J-Ron Curse mode because you don't know how long you're going to keep a Curse. Curse is 28 years old. You sign into a 2-year deal. You could probably if I'm looking how they're thinking in their brains, okay, we got a guy in here that could be our next Curse. So let's build him up, put him in that same role that Curse has, and if Curse doesn't re-sign, we got a cheaper option. That's what it just looks like to me. What's up, Michael Hooper? No, I think I got a big dog. Oh, shout out to my dog Juwan James. If you're not, hey, put that in the chat, babe. Shout out to my dog Juwan James though for the $20 holla. Hey ho, $20 holla, and that's on the Cash App. You see the Cash App right there. If you want to donate, I ain't gonna press you. I ain't full pressing nobody, but I appreciate the donation. Donation. You know what I mean? Yep, Curses on the 2-year deal, so that's why I said they love going cheaper. And that's the thing, B Bird. I'm gonna put your thing up and see that's the issue, and I'm gonna keep saying this to you guys. And it's never me ever want to hate on my Cowboys. It's never ever me wanting to hate on my team. I love my team. I love my Cowboys. I promise you. People be like, you be complaining so much. Dog, because I love my boys so much, it gets frustrating. Because here's the thing. I get frustrated with Stephen Jones because I feel like, man, I get it about the cap. I totally do get it. I get it. I don't. When Jerry was going reckless with the money, just spending, I was frustrated, but I was never mad at him because he was always trying to win. So I was never mad at Jerry for ever going hard, even if some of the deals went bad, like when we got Galloway or Roy Williams. Maybe they weren't the players that we thought they were, but you were never mad at Jerry because he was always trying. Oh, he's like, okay, I tried though. You can't knock a dude for trying. That's why I couldn't get mad at him for that, because he was trying. He was always trying to make it better. Okay, we're lacking a receiver. I'm gonna go get an explosive receiver. We're lacking in a defensive player. I'm gonna go get an explosive defensive player. We're lacking in this. Well, I'm gonna go get. I like that theory. But yeah, you don't want to build your whole team on that. I get that. You want to have young players on your squad to build for your future. But you do have to have a few of those guys that you grab in free agency that take you over the top. That's why these teams win. It's just that's what happens. You feel me? That's what happens. And so my frustration is with Stephen Jones is that he likes to do the gambling, and he gambles, but he gambles on cheap players, and he won't take the next step because there's guys out there, because he's worried about, if I pay you all this money, now we're going to be strapped with the cap, and then you ain't no good, and I got to cut you. Dog, come on, you can't have that theory. Shout out to my dog, Coach Marv. Said the offensive line was not bad last year. They had the same problem we had Coop, TP, Lamb, Zeke, and Dak. They're not used correctly in big games. Yes, I can hear what you say, but in my opinion, the offensive line, was bad toward the end of the year. The beginning of the year, it was not bad. I agree, Coach Marv. It was not bad at the beginning of your shout out to your $5 holla, by the way. It was not bad at the beginning of the year. But I can pull up the stats toward the end of the season after Leo Collins came back and they started reshuffling the offensive line. Connor McGovern got inserted when Connor Williams got taken out. Leo Collins got substituted for Terrence Steele. They were averaging, I believe, about 180 yards rushing per game with Terrence Steele, Zach Martin, Tyler Biadish, Connor Williams, and Tyron Smith. When they started shuffling the players, they dropped to, by the end of the year, it was about 125 yards rushing a game. So it definitely had went down. It was one of the top rushing offensive in the league. The offensive line was one of the tops in the game. But as soon as they started doing the offensive line shuffle, the offensive line did fall off. So I feel like this. Like I said, Joe Philman, if I don't know about y'all, who y'all in there betting? Who y'all betting $1,000 in here, man? I'm looking at this stuff. Who's $100, $1,000 Who in here betting all this money, man? What y'all betting? Yeah, I like the physical presence. I'm gonna put that up for you right here, dog. I like those. Cowboys draft 22, trying to improve the physical presence in the trenches. Tyler Smith, 6'5", 325. Matt Waletzko, 6'8", 315. Ridgeway, 6'5", 322. Yeah, I mean, they did that last year, too. I mean, people keep on forgetting about Bohanna. Bohanna is still a 6'3", 6'4 guy that's 340 pounds. They want to get physical last year, too. Physical was the name of the game last year for them, too. But they got a little more finesse in the offensive game. But I just feel like when you listen to a lot of people in the Twitter streets and the Cowboy streets, you listen to Brian Boston, who had a close ear to the streets. I believe the main thing what happened was this. Kellen Moore came in with a nice plan. Dallas was healthy. The offense was ahead of everybody else. The offense was ahead of the defense. The offense was ready. This was a year lead. This was like almost like the year. Everything was set. So the offense was explosive. Teams hadn't really caught on. And I feel like teams started the film study, started seeing what they were doing. Okay, they're doing in this game is successful. Let's start trying to take that away and let's see if they can do something else. And I feel like that was the issue. There wasn't the readjustments in the offense. You weren't using, to your point, Coach Marv, you weren't using the players in your best positions. You know, you had options that you could have did. You could have maneuvered a lot more things, and it didn't happen. And in the beginning of the year, it was working because, you know, the offense was not basically seen, exposed. It gets exposed a little bit. Now you got to restructure, what do they say, tinkle it a little bit, twerk it a little bit, and that did not happen. And it kept on being the same thing over and over. Now teams see you know what you're doing, and they say, "Oh, well, you're not changing it. Oh, well, we're gonna really attack you now and really do this." And like I said, by there wasn't the adjustments or wasn't using your players to their full capability, it put Dak Prescott and your top players in bad positions, and it just fell apart toward the end of the year. What's up, James Ruff? Dak does like cooking late, you know, and I said that as well. But I feel like that's the offense cooking late. But I feel like then it's less pressure because you're down 15, 14, 20 points. So then you can chuck it around, throw it everywhere. So there's less pressure on you for that. In those pressure times, though, I feel like the whole offense choked. In those pressure situations, it was happening earlier. I don't know if it's a mental thing, But I just feel like guys need to, when they're talking about being more assertive on the field, guys need to be more assertive off the field. You get what I'm saying? So when everybody's talking about Dallas got to have this, when they keep on talking about this alpha energy, like we talked about on DMV, shout out to them once again. Yeah, they want to have this alpha energy. Have that alpha energy for your coaching staff. How about that? You know what I mean? You want to have alpha energy for your players, right? Oh, this guy got to be an alpha. This guy got to be more physical. And then, how about your coaching staff have that same energy? Feel me? That's what got to happen. The coaching staff got to still have that same energy, please. Have that. Because y'all got to have that alpha energy when you're making them play calls, right? And not being scary, right? Because y'all want to have alpha energy, but Mike McCarthy talking about, oh, we was nervous before the playoff game. The whole team felt nervous. Well, what the heck is that? That's your coaching staff saying that. So let's make sure that energy is on that coaching staff and not just on players, because y'all coaching them and y'all choke two in them playoffs. So it better be better coaching staff energy as well. Shout out to my dog B Bird for another $5 holla. Appreciate you. After teams no longer fear the run game, they put more people in them zones. Dak had trouble against flooded zones as opposed to more man coverages. I feel you as that as well. What's up? Shout out to you, Jay Lombardi. That's my dog. I would agree with you on that, B Bird. Hey ho! Shout out. We got another $9.99 holla to Cowboys 24/7. They say, BGJ, why do our offensive line coaches force offensive line players to play positions they don't like playing? Why don't the O-line players fight for the position they want to play? Is it because they're afraid of getting fired? I just feel like, you know what, across the board, the Cowboys love experimenting. They experiment with everybody. If you're in the fourth round or past, you're getting experimented with. They already just talked about experimenting with Marquise Bell from hybrid, um, from safety to linebacker. Last year was Mukambu. He was corner. They moved him to safety. Now they might be moving back to corner. And the year before that, it was Robinson, who was a corner at Tulsa, and they moved him to safety, and then they moved him back. They love experimenting. And then even now, Simi Fehoko is talking about playing hybrid tight end. Yeah, and what was he, a fifth-round draft pick? Once that fourth round, dog, they're going to experiment with you. That's what it is. But they always want people who can play multiple positions. That's what the Cowboys are. They don't want you being pigeonholed in one thing because they want to be able to use you in a variety of ways, which in a way isn't bad. But players ain't going to speak up because that's across the league. Unless you are like a super veteran or a superstar, you ain't got much saying. You can't be in that media talking, because if you're in that media talking, you gon' not have a job. For real. So only them big dogs can really speak up in that media. For real. You start speaking up in that media and talking crazy and you ain't really put in no work, you might not have a job no more. You know what I'm saying? So that's what I really feel like that is, man. I mean, the whole team was scared, dog, Lewis. I'm gonna just host. I ain't gonna say it wasn't just no Dak. The whole team was spooked, and Mike McCarthy even said it. But like I said, they need to get that same energy as well. Stop talking about that energy from the coaching staff and have that same energy as coaches. Be aggressive coaching. Be aggressive with your play calling. It ain't just going on no fourth down. Y'all know what it is. Switch it up. Yeah, with our receiver dilemma, I agree, James, bro. Running the ball is going to be paramount, but you got to do it the right way. Don't make it obvious. Don't first down up the middle, second down up the middle, and then third. You know what I mean? You don't want to make it. Get the 20 personnel, get your two back system in there. Use Tony Pollard, get him in space. Ezekiel Elliott is back healthy. You can make that work, but you got to get more of those two backs in there on the field at the same time this year. Shout out to my sis. Hey ho! For the $10 holla. Sis always been rocking with us. I love you to death. She's one of the mama bears up in here, man, along with Boo Thing. She's one of the mama bears, so don't you ever play on that. Big bro, he said, I'm snitching on the chat room. He said there are 99 in here, only 55 likes. Hit that like button, sub, and share. That's my sis. That's why I love her. I don't really go hard with that no more. I just let my moderators do it. So I really appreciate you, sis, doing that. You heard Big Mama Bear. You heard Mama Bear. I don't say it. She said it. I said you just listen to her. She said you ain't snitching. You just telling what it is. Really appreciate you. Shout out to my dog, Coach Marv, as well. He says great offense and more physical approach is going to end the season, but the tricks are figured out. But we did the exact opposite. Yeah, I feel you with that. You know, it's just a lot of talk. You see, Coach, and just everybody's. I get it. It sounds great talking and we're gonna be physical and we're gonna do this and we ain't gonna do that. You know what I mean? Just stop talking about what you're gonna do and just show it on the field. You know what I mean? We see what you're drafting. That's all good, but it needs to show on the field. And this is the last year because after this staff gone. If this staff don't win this year, they're not here. Joe Philbin ain't gonna be here if Mike McCarthy ain't here. You know what I mean? I don't know what happens to Kellen Moore. Let's say if Sean Payton comes, do I think is he gonna be forced to keep Kellen Moore? I don't think so, because here's the thing, and I'm not trying to go so far in the future. Lord, y'all forgive me for saying this. Lord, forgive me. But if Mike McCarthy doesn't do it this year, right? I don't think he's gonna be here. You're getting fired. If you don't make it to at least an NFC Championship game, you're getting fired. So if you're getting fired, Joe Philbin getting fired. Probably everybody on the staff getting fired. And I don't even think Kellen Moore is going to survive it either, for the simple fact that I feel like they were looking at Kellen Moore as the boy wonder when Mike McCarthy coming in and he ain't really had his chance. Now you've been here 4 years, 5 almost. If Sean Payton were to come in, they ain't going to force no Sean Payton to keep no Kellen Moore because they're going to already respect Sean Payton's offensive coaching mind. They're already going to give him this prospect because he was an offensive coordinator already here in Dallas coaching Romo. And you saw how much Jerry loved him. So then I feel like even Kellen Moore might be out the door. So this might be a whole new turnover next year unless they win. For real. Let me get that up here. This is Tony Marsh. Sam Williams, I love the size. 6'4", 260. Darren Blau, yes, the great size. Great size. I see what you're saying. Everything reminds me of. But you know what? That's why I said this defense is that's one thing I'm not worried about with the defense. Appreciate you, Joe Tranchino. You know what I mean? This defense I think the defense is going to be devastating. I don't got no questions about the defense, in my opinion, because this is year 2 with Dan Quinn. I think he's really, when he really came back to say, when he was out there, he could possibly be a head coach. Now he really jumped in it. My mind's here. I think he's going to be here for another few years. So I feel like he's really going to dig his feet in and really put his imprint on this defense. Sometimes it might be a little go, but with Micah Parsons, I think his year 2 is going to be even more dominant. I think Osa Ogadazoo is going to be a year 2 is going to be even more dominant. Shout out to you, Nicholas. I think this defense is going to be really nice. Will it have the turnovers it had last year? I don't believe so. Will Trevin Diggs have 11 interceptions? No. Micah Parsons have 13? He could, or he could have more, or he could have less. But if he has less, he's definitely going to be double digit. I think Micah Parsons is going to be a double digit sack every season. Just me. Only way he doesn't, Micah Parsons is going to be a double digit sack for at least the next 5 years. At least the next 5 years. He won't start downtrending as far as that until he's like in his 30s. But Micah Parsons is going to be a double digit sack guy for the next 5 years, for sure. That I'm gonna say that. I'm gonna put that on there. As long as Micah Parsons stays healthy for the next 5 years, he's a double digit sack guy. For sure. And yes, Quinn uses that's where we got to get Kellen Moore and Mike McCarthy on that same page, because Dan Quinn, he has a plan. He comes in with a plan. He identifies. That's why they drafted Sam Williams. He came in with a plan, okay? He has a plan of what he's going to do. When he picked up Sam Williams, he said, I love to coach him. Just like when he got Micah Parsons, I love to coach him because I got a plan for you. We know we're not having a Randy Gregory back. We know he's not going to be there, but guess what? I love your size. You're 6'4", 260. You run a 4.4, 4.5. I can do things with you. Maybe you're not that strong in the running game. Maybe it's untapped potential, because I believe it is, because I don't think he's a finished product by any means. That's why I said I thought he's more of a fourth round than a second rounder, but I understand why they drafted him in the second round, because they didn't want nobody to take him, because somebody would have took him by the third. So I understand why the Cowboys did it. So I ain't mad at them for doing that. But I feel like he has a plan where he's going to do with him. And the thing is with DeMarcus Lawrence, they have those same type of measurements, 6'4", 250, 260, and I think he wants to have that on each side, because Randy Gregory was not as big as Sam Williams. Randy Gregory was, he was bigger than he was before, but he still wasn't naturally big like Sam Williams. You get what I'm saying? So you have two bookends if you have a DeMarcus Lawrence and a Sam Williams on your left and right side. Both of those guys are going to be strong in the run game. I believe that's what Dan Quinn wants. He wants his bookends guy to be able to set the edge and be strong in the run game. That's one of the highlights and one of the features of DeMarcus Lawrence. And I believe that's one of the reasons why you saw Chauncey Golston get drafted by them as well, because they had a plan for him. And now you hear about Chauncey Golston getting 15 to 20 pounds on. I believe that's the plan, because they want to get stronger in that run defense, because the Cowboys still gave up over an average of 100 yards a game last year. Even with the improvements, even with the turnovers, they were still getting kind of gashed toward the end of the year. And it started kind of with the Denver game when they rushed for over 190 yards on the Cowboys. Gallimore is not a true one. He's a 3. He can slide back and forth, but he is a 3. Tristan Hill, he may not even be with the team. You get what I'm saying? John Ridgeway is a rookie. They brought back Carlos Watkins, but he's still more of a 3 than a 1. So I believe they maybe said Golston, put on some more pounds. You know why? Because I said Golston was better on the inside than the outside his rookie year. When he got drafted, I say he's better inside player than outside, because if you saw him, he was undersized last year on the inside with Iowa, but he was better when he could slide on the inside, because he's quick, he's fast, he's quick off the ball. He knows that he's got good technique. He knows how to stay low, and I like his first move. So now he puts on those pounds without losing the quickness, like Kyle Human said. You're feeling good about that, because I believe they need to have a guy who wants to they really want to solidify this run defense, man. They got to. I still feel like they could get a veteran in that middle. It would really help them if they got a vet in the middle. But Bohanna, this is his time to shine, man. Bohanna's really got to shine, because if he could really hold down that middle, he's the key. And that's why I made the video about Bohanna. Bohanna's the key. He's 6'4", 340 pounds, man. If he can make that key, push that pocket, hold down the double team, free his linebackers, slide a Gallimore and keep a Gallimore at the 3, it makes the team more effective. You don't want the Gallimore at the 1 and the Osa at the 1. And they were doing other things that was frustrating me last year, when they were putting Osa and they were putting Tristan Hill as your starting tackles. Teams were automatically attacking that. They did it toward the end of the year. I think they even did it in the San Francisco game. They had Tristan Hill and they had Osa playing that middle. That's not going to work. That's not going to work. And even when Gallimore in there, Gallimore is better pass rushing defensive tackle. So that's why Ridgeway, he's got to come in and step up quickly. I hear all the talk and it sounds good. My guy trained him. Sounds great. But that 1 tech, 0 tech has got to be key. The same way we talk about Tyler Smith at that left guard, Terrence Steele being at the right tackle, have to have step up. Tyler Biadasz at the center. Those 3 positions are critical, right? That 0 and 1 tech is critical. Not talking enough about that, because, yeah, we can get excited about Ridgeway. I love the excitement as well. He's a rookie, and Bohanna has to step his game up and be huge, because if they don't, Dallas is going to suffer again in that middle. Sure. Micah Parsons getting 10 sacks or more, bro. Who was better coming out of college, D-Law or Sam Williams? If you're going to say the numbers, it was probably Sam Williams, because I don't know if D-Law got 12.5 sacks when he was at Boise State. But I feel like D-Law was the better overall player coming out of college. I do. When he came out, I do believe D-Law was the better overall player because he was always good in the run game. And I believe that Sam Williams, when you watch him, he's not great in the run game right now. But that's what one of DeMarcus Lawrence's strength coming out of college was his run defense, and that's not Sam Williams. That was not his. That's not his specialty coming out right now. So I'm going to go with DeMarcus Lawrence. Yeah, I agree. D-Law's a run stopper. He jumped out in the media talking about, I guess he cut his hair. He said the young buck, Micah Parsons, challenged him, and he's got to get his game better. But listen, man, D-Law ain't no 10-sack guy. He said years ago he was a 10-sack guy. No, he's not. I don't care what he says no more. D-Law is a 6 to 8. DeMarcus Lawrence is a 6 to 8 sack guy. He's always going to be great in that run game. He may get you some turnovers. He might get an interception or two. He get a forced fumble, but he's a total package. And that's what I like about DeMarcus Lawrence. He's a total package, but he's not the 10-sack guy. He said he was a 10-sack guy in 2017 when he got them 14 and a half sacks. No, he's not. He's a 6 to 8 sack guy. That's what DeMarcus Lawrence is, but he's all around. He's an all-around defender, though. But 6 to 8 sacks, that's what I'm always thinking of DeMarcus Lawrence. Now, I'm never thinking him getting 10 or more sacks. Yeah, I agree, Mark Anthony. He's equal to a Greg Ellis. Solid. I agree with that. But, even Greg Ellis, but yeah, I'm agree with that one. He's a solid player. People keep on saying D-Law is this great player. No, he's not. I'm sorry. He's very solid, though. Very solid. There's nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that at all. And combined, like I said, DeMarcus Lawrence is better when he's got the Micah Parsons and the Osa Ogadezuwas. DeMarcus Lawrence is better when he got them players around him, because then he doesn't have to be the focus, and then he can really be good. But when he's the focus and has to be the man, he's not the man, dog. I don't care. Nobody tell me. You can tell me all these so-called specialists and know everything. Nah, no, he ain't. But get him with a whole bunch of good players, he's very good. I believe that French 7 was shot, but once again, Jay, it's got to be Bo. Bo is the key. Bo and Ridgeway, they got to be the key, because they haven't picked up anybody in free agency at that D tackle. And there's guys out there that they can still get. They can get Linval Joseph. He's not the same guy he was when he was at Minnesota and even at San Diego, but he's still a plugger. He's still a 330, 340 guy that can plug. You don't need no pass rushing really right now. You know, a guy who can stop the run. So they can still grab some guys in free agency at D tackle. They got like 10 to 13 in cap money still left, so they can make that happen. We'll see. But if you don't, I'm trying to tell y'all, Big Bo, you gotta have a big year, Big Bo. I made a video. If you hear it, I'm gonna say it to you again. You got to have a big year, dog. Because they got to stop that run in the middle. And it can't be one of those games with an offense where 2014, 2016, both of those run defenses were averaged under 100 yards against. But it wasn't just because the defense was so good. It was just because the offense was so good and put so much pressure on the opposing team's offenses. The defense didn't have to deal with the run game because so many teams had to get out of running the ball and pass the ball because you're down 14, 16, nothing because of the explosive offense that the Cowboys were showing in 2014 and 2016. This was more like it as far as the real numbers, what we saw. So those guys got to be huge. So, but I'm about to get up off here, man. I appreciate it, y'all jumping in there. We had a great crowd, steady crowd. It's good to see everybody. I hadn't went live in a couple of weeks, so I had to jump back in the fold, man, talk about these Cowboys. But, hey, I know it ain't Cowboys talk, but, man, support these kids, man. Support these kids. Remember, I told y'all a while back that I was going to shout out and do. Let me get that $5 holla up there, though, from Coach Marv. Big game. I put my coaching rep on this. Give us another physical linebacker with this D-line, and we will stop the run game. Facts. I feel you, but give us a dog D tackle, that one tech that can really plug it. And you said we are an aggressive physical linebacker run from being maybe elite. I'm going to say We're that 1-0 tech away from this defense being super dominant elite. Because if that one tech like Bohanna clogs that middle and holds that pocket, dog, we're going to be dominant. That's what I'm going to definitely say about that. So come on, Big Bo or Ridgeway. One of y'all two be the man this year, please. But hey, I want to give a shout out to you, man. Hey, I appreciate you, B-Bird, on that. Let me get that comment up. Got to get compliments up there. Get a lot of hate sometimes. Like to get them compliments. But hey, I got this video coming up. I don't know if y'all been checking it out, man, but I've been doing these high school videos out there. They hot. I love them. I'm doing the stuff for the kids. When I originally got out of media school, man, that's what the original plan was for, but I got sidetracked with my Cowboys. But hey, we're doing a great thing with it. But I'm about to get into my roots, interviewing these kids, man, giving them a voice. It's a lot of good kids I'm interviewing out there, man. Some dogs. Just had a great interview with Luke Nitschke. You know that name, but he ain't related to the Ray Nitschke, but he's a dog. Jalen Washington, running back, number 2 running back in the state of Mississippi. Had a great interview with him. And I got another great interview today at 4:30 with James J. Stevenson. He's the number 4 rated running back in the state of Mississippi with 1,289 yards and 24 touchdowns. And he's only a junior. And man, I've been loving these interviews. We're trying to really open the door for these kids, man, and we're really trying to make this thing grow. Recruiting services, getting their name out there. And like I said, we want to get the kids a voice, and we want to show what positive things. Too many things that we're seeing in these streets is negativity about kids and just negative in general. But too many negative things are going on about these kids. So it's time that we focus on the positive things that we're doing, sports or beyond. Hey, but these kids are not only hitting it on the field, they kicking it butt in the classrooms. And I just got a lot of kids that I'm just loving it. And so make sure you check out that interview today. Please go support these kids. And hey, you never know, a door can open. But I got that interview, 6'1", 210, junior running back, Jay Stevenson, and he runs track. 1,289 yards, 24 touchdowns, man. It's going to be another great one, man. And we're going to continue to make this thing bang. So shout out to y'all. Shout out to all my peoples out here. Shout out to my Facebook peoples. Please continue to go support out there. Shout out to my YouTube. Shout out to all my members. Shout out to all the fans, the love, everybody. Shout out to you, Coach Marv, sis, Miss Charles, my sis, Jay Lombardi, David Woods, Paul, so many people, the Ninja. Dog, I love y'all for life, man. I really appreciate everything y'all done. We continue to keep growing. I said, let's hit 15K. We hit our goal last year, hitting 10K by the season. I said, let's hit 15K by the start of this season, and we can definitely do it. Right now, we at 13-3, I think. We can definitely hit that 15K by the start of the season. Let's hit that goal. Let's get that out there. Let's pump that up, and let's make that happen. 15K by the start of the season, man. So if you're not a subscriber to the Big Game James podcast or show on YouTube, Facebook, especially YouTube, become a subscriber ASAP, and let's make this thing roll, and let's get that 15K by week 1, baby. You know what it is. Big Game James, I'm out. Peace. Talk to you soon.